MV Agusta is eager to return to the top of the sport bike class, and the proof is in its new F3800. Powered by a long-stroke 798cc version of its rowdy inline 3, the 800 also sports a bevy of second-year platform refinements. But did the Italians do enough? Ever since I rode the MV Agusta F3800 here a couple months ago, I was blown away by the performance. Like, that bike is just absolutely incredible to me. Just the chassis on it has so much feel in the corners. The suspension calibration's getting there, man. They're evolving it, they're figuring it out, starting to work better than ever. But just the way the chassis feels is just, it's unbelievable. It feels like a race bike. I mean, the engine on it, that long stroke 800cc motor, it's got just torque for days. It just sounds so awesome, like the intake roar, the exhaust whine. MV Agusta hit a home run with that bike. That bike is unbelievable, and it's literally the bike that's the bike I would buy. I just love riding that thing. It's so badass.
Last May when I did the test with MotoUSA on the 600s, the MV Agusta 675 was a bike that I thought had the most potential, and it seems like what they've done with the 800 is taken all the little things that needed to be kind of sorted out, and it's an unbelievable motorcycle to ride. It has power everywhere, steers great. I honestly don't have anything bad to say about that motorbike. Just did everything good, and it showed in the lap time. Lap time was very easy to do, and I had no idea that I'd go as fast as I did around here on that bike.
It clearly feels like it has the most horsepower. You crack the throttle on the thing and it gets some. You know, it's not a real proven bike here in the States, and it's kind of neat to think that, you know, it's hands down felt the fastest bike as far as raw speed, you know, out of the corner on the throttle. You got to be ready for it. The thing hauls, just gets ripping. I didn't like the mapping on it. It's real abrupt, off throttle. Thing kind of still hesitates, still has a little bit of time before you feel like the motor shut off, from translation from throttle off to when it actually feels like it's slowing down. It kind of trips me out, but you get used to it.
The chassis is, if you're riding 85% speed, it's quite hard work. But if you're really gunning it, it's perfect. And the faster you go, the better the bike gets. Like, the more speed you add, the chassis comes into its own, it steers really nicely. The traction control and the ABS, they seem to work well on track. Like, you dial them back for the track settings, and it's a real easy thing to get on with. Love the quick shifter. The only thing I couldn't really get on with the MV was the throttle. When you shut the throttle, it runs on a little bit. It's for the engine brake control, and that was the one area that maybe took a bit more to get used to. But the motor was the real high point for that bike.
When its electronics and suspension is set up properly, the F3 is a stunningly effective track weapon. Highlights include a wide and hard-hitting power band and a nimble yet super precise chassis, allowing the rider to run it hard through corners. Though the suspension dampening could use some fine-tuning, it wasn't enough to stop it from stealing the fastest outright lap time. This, along with top scores in 11 categories, moved it to the top of the scorecard, netting MV Agusta's first ever MotoUSA Shootout win. There's a new sheriff in town, and its name is the F3800.